I want you to start putting your business dreams into a spreadsheet. Yes, I want you to start writing them down. I want to make sure that you know what they are. I want to make sure you know what questions you should be thinking about and that you're noting them down and you are tracking them. It is actually really simple to do, but this is actually going to help you see, are you taking the action steps that are going to get you to the outcome that you want? And then are you actually doing those action steps or are you not? So this is going to make it very easy for you to know exactly what to do. And then you'll be able to see, why am I getting the results that I want or why am I not? And this will help you track back to specifically what you need to focus on and answer those types of questions. So I want you to pull up, whether it's a Google Doc, a Google spreadsheet, wherever you want to track it. And I want you to think about, what do you want to make happen in your business? What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? This can be, of course, your financial goals. What kind of revenue or profits do you want to see in your business? But this could be other things that you want to see happen. Are there certain types of clients that you want to work with? Are there a certain number of clients that you want to work with? Or do you even have a specific client that you really want to be able to work with for a particular reason? And then I want you to look at, what are the action steps that you need to take to make those goals happen? Now, for me personally, I like to work in 90-day increments. So being at the beginning of the year, as I'm recording this, I would like to look at a full year, but I like to break that down into quarters. So we have 90-day targets, and those 90-day targets are going to get me to that 12-month spot that I want to be in. They're going to get me to that outcome that I would like to see at the end of the next 12 months. Now, when we have our 90-day goals, that is much more manageable to look at and to decide what action steps that we need to take before we are just sitting down and saying, okay, I have this 12-month goal, which often feels bigger, it feels heavier. We're not necessarily sure how to do that. So we're going to break that down into our 90-day goals. And when we do that, now we can work backwards and we can say, okay, now what do we need to do on a monthly basis? What's happening month 1, month 2, month 3, in order to see that outcome in 90 days. That gives us enough time to work where we don't have to feel super rushed about it, but it's also in the near future, it's going to be achievable to do. So now when I'm sitting down, my goal is to know exactly what it is that I need to work on a daily basis to hit that 90-day outcome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down what those tasks are, and I'm going to then actually put that down as my daily task, my weekly task, my monthly task, and I'm going to track, am I doing it or am I not? And it sounds silly to track ourselves like that, but sometimes we think, oh, I can't do this, I'm not sure about this, I'm stuck. We have all kinds of things that we think that actually block us getting into action-taking mode. So we are going to get us out of that mode by doing this process. So what I want to actually have you do is note this down. Like I said, you can pull up a spreadsheet, you can pull up a document, however you want to track it. I actually created this free workbook. It's called Your Consistent Action to Success Workbook. And I have all the things here that we're going to be covering in this. And it is actually quite a lengthy workbook here. But this is all designed to help you identify what are your goals, to put it down on paper, because when you do this, it is going to help you block out all of the distractions that are offered to you constantly in this world and just focus on the one thing that you were trying to achieve and only focus on that. So we're going to be going through, we're going to be noting that down. We are going to look at how you are working with your time. We're going to look at what your specific focuses are, but this is also designed, before we even get into the tracking, to look at the 6 different steps that you need to go through. Like step 3 is building out an automated lead generation system. We talk about the different aspects that you need to think about within that in order to create something like that. We're going to be looking at even like step 1 is just knowing where you're going, but we're looking at the different targeted leads, how to make sure you're getting your work done and the systems that go into that. So you are going to be looking at where in these 6 main steps of building and scaling your business are you, and you want to start with that step. You want to make sure you have all the answers to each individual step before you then go on to that next step. And if you hit one of those steps and you don't have an answer to the question, it's not a roadblock. It's not there like, oh, darn it, see, I'm not going to be able to do this. It is simply an opportunity. That is your next step in the journey. So when you get to something you don't know the answer, you say, great, that is an action step for me. That is the next thing that I need to do. So if you have skipped ahead and you are on step 6 and you're working on scaling your business and answering all those questions, but you have not answered the questions that we have covered in step 2, let's say, and you don't know the answers there, step 6 is going to be really hard to answer and figure out. So this literally takes you step by step. Now, you don't need this. You can document this on your own and think about your goals and break them down into steps and create a tracker for yourself. But if you would find a guide helpful, again, it's completely free, then you can download that, and I'll leave a link to that below just to get you started. But the things that I want you thinking about are your goals. What do you want to make happen over the next 12 months? Can you break those down into 90-day increments? But think about your short-term goals, which could be over the next year. And then think about what do you want to have happen over the next 3 years, the next 5 years. And it's okay, even if you don't plan the how to achieve that in the next 3 to 5 years, let's say, you can start planning what you can do in the next 6 months. What can you do in the next 12 months? But I want you to make sure that you are sitting down to work, knowing exactly what you need to do. You're not out there watching just random videos or learning about random news services or thinking about random possible clients or how you might reach them. I want you to sit down with that plan of action. So having that, putting your dream into a spreadsheet, using that as a reminder of what it is that you're trying to do, but also using that as a tracker for what tasks are going to get you to where you want to be, and checking on a weekly basis and a monthly basis. Are you doing what it is that you need to do to get there? You've set your task. Are you doing it or are you not? And sometimes it's just very black and white like that. Are we taking the action or are we not taking that action to get to where we want to be? Simple as that. Now I'm going to be here talking a lot more about getting that consistent results, getting the consistent income. I'm going to be talking about what you need to do in order to hit 6 figures with digital marketing services. If you are not already at that point, we're going to make sure that you're not doing anything within your process to block clients or keep them from hiring you. So much we're going to be covering here. So if you are not already subscribed, make sure to do that because I don't want you to miss anything that I'm going to be sharing here because there's a lot that is coming your way. So stay tuned. I'll see you soon.